Before we begin, the necessary fact. Attila did not sack cities looking for USB Type-C. He died in 453, while the connector appeared in 2014, roughly 1561 years later. That should end the matter. Instead, the real 5th century record supplies an alarming amount of evidence for the cable case. Attila ruled the Huns from the 430s until his death in 453. His power stretched across the Danube frontier, where the Eastern Roman Empire had a problem. It owed the Huns money, it was sheltering fugitives, and, in 441, the Bishop of Margus was accused of robbing Hunnic royal graves. That last charge matters. Attila was not merely demanding tribute. He wanted stolen property returned. The surviving record does not provide a complete inventory of the grave goods, which leaves a gap in the evidence. A small, black, cable-shaped gap. Consider the object itself. USB-C is compact, symmetrical, and reversible. That makes it unusually suitable for a mounted empire. A rider can plug it in from either direction, in poor light, while wearing gloves, without turning the entire cavalry column around. Micro-USB could never have conquered Gaul. Next, follow the campaign. Hunnic forces struck Ratiaria, Viminatium, Singidunum, Margus, and Naissus, along the Danube and Morava corridors. These were not isolated farmsteads. They were fortified towns, river crossings, markets, and workshops. Viewed as a procurement trail, this looks less like random destruction and more like a systematic search of every place likely to contain a drawer full of unidentified leads. Naissus was devastated. The historian Priscus later described the place as deserted, with evidence of the destruction still visible near the river. He does not mention a USB-C cable. But a cable is portable, easy to conceal, and almost impossible to identify when every known device uses a different connector. The silence of the sources is therefore exactly what a very determined cable would leave behind. Then there is the money. Roman diplomats repeatedly offered gold. Yet Attila kept applying pressure. Priscus describes him at a banquet using a wooden plate and wooden cup while his guests dined from gold and silver. This was a man who could sit in front of precious metal and remain unimpressed. Why? Because gold is an excellent store of value, but a terrible way to charge anything. The strongest geographical clue arrives in 452, Aquileia. Attila's forces sacked it during the invasion of northern Italy. Aquileia was a major commercial hub linking the Mediterranean with Central Europe. If any late Roman merchant possessed an inexplicable imported connector in a box behind the counter, it was going to be there. Attila searched the ancient equivalent of the large electronics shop. Apparently, the correct cable was still out of stock. Yes, the 5th century had no USB ports, no power delivery, and no electrical grid. But wanting an object and knowing what it does are different matters. Human beings have preserved mysterious leads for centuries on the suspicion they may become useful later. Attila, having mobilized an empire around the problem, may simply have taken cable retention more seriously than most. There is also the date. The USB Type-C specification was released in August 2014. In the factual record, this settles the question. In the cable case, the gap in time sharpens the motive. An unknown connector among robbed royal grave goods would be irreplaceable, difficult to identify, and absolutely worth recovering before someone put it in the wrong drawer. So, did Attila the Hun sack cities looking for a USB-C cable? Historically, categorically not. Yet the pattern remains annoyingly coherent: a stolen object, a demand for its return, a search through major trade centers, indifference to gold, and a connector perfectly designed for horseback use. The Roman Empire might have saved several cities by checking the drawer with the old adapters.